Hello everyone, I'm Hilary Hahn and I'm here with...
Hilary Hahn.
Seriously.
Yes, for real. It is my birth given name.
But you spell it with two L's.
I do. Yeah.
And I spell it with one.
Yes.
So how do you feel about the two L's? Do you like having the extra one?
I actually do. I feel it really bolsters who I am, having that extra L.
It gives your name greater space on
It
the page.
does, yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your story?
Well, I'm from Miami, Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and born to Jack and Margie Hahn.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom runs a youth orchestra down there, the South Florida Youth
wow.
Symphony. And so I grew up around music. I started playing the violin when I was 5. Had some wonderful training and loved doing that growing up. And my undergraduate degree in college was music education. So I always knew that I wanted to teach music. So that was actually how I started my career. I taught junior high orchestra for 9 years in Tampa, Florida.
That's a job.
Yeah, at Orange Grove Performing Arts Middle School. Shout out to all my Orange Grove kids. Former. They're now done with their master's degrees by this point.
They can still consider
yes.
themselves kids.
And at the same time, I actually was a contracted violinist with Sarasota Orchestra.
Uh-huh.
And had a great 6 years with them.
Mm-hmm.
And moved to Utah in 2005. My husband got a job here with Utah Symphony, and we moved out. I continued teaching for about a year in the Davis County schools here in Utah, and it was a commute from where I'm living at the time, so I decided I wanted something closer to the home. I've always been involved in the symphony world, having growing up around it. Utah Symphony, Utah Opera had an opening, and I found myself in the development department, and now I am the director of Foundation and Government Gifts. I have subbed with Utah Symphony on occasion. I think actually the first time you and I met face to face, I think I was on stage. We were doing Sibelius Symphony, and you did Sibelius Violin Concerto, and I said, I don't want to creep you out, I'm not some crazy stalker, but my name is actually Hilary Hahn, and I do play the violin sometimes as well. So, so that was a lot of fun, and it's been a lot of fun to follow you and your career, and
well, every now and
there's someone out there with my name.
I know. People tell me that too. They're like, "Did you know there's another Hilary Hahn in classical music?" I'm like, yeah, actually, I have met her.
But I'm in such admiration of your playing, and you really have been an inspiration, you know, in the last several years especially. So thank you.
Which one of us is the original Hilary Hahn?
I think I am.
You are. Well, props.
Yeah. There's one check for me.
Your name, is it a German last name?
It is a German last name. I've never done any genealogy, so I can't tell you where we're actually from. Do you know where you're from?
Kind of, because the most recent immigrant in my family was my great-grandmother.
Oh,
so she didn't
recent.
She didn't bring the name, but we know that I think it was my great-great-grandfather was from the same region. So we kind of know, like, we know the area, but that's just because my grandparents were really good at keeping track of those things.
Good for them.
But do you know who your most recent immigrant in your family is?
No. My grandfather is Ernest Hahn, and he grew up in Kentucky, and I'm sorry, I really don't know where his family came from before then. So
isn't that an interesting American thing?
Yeah.
Like, everyone is from somewhere else, but eventually you're just from here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Because everyone here is kind of from a lot of different places, it seems. Well,
definitely.
You know, some people come over more recently, and my oldest immigrant in the family from the UK actually was several centuries ago. Oh. So when you start tracking it, you need someone in the family to keep track of it.
Definitely.
Then you can kind of pick their brains.
Yeah. My mother's side of the family, I know, is kind of an Anglo mix, you know, that Welsh, Irish, English sort of thing. So.
Same for me.
Yeah.
So tell us about your job right now. I should just mention we're here in Salt Lake City.
Yes.
And backstage in the artist's dressing room, which is white.
Yes, it is. So my job as Director of Foundation and Government Gifts, I'm responsible for maintaining and acquiring new support for Utah Symphony, Utah Opera, from family foundations, private foundations, and then government resources. We get money from the legislature for our statewide education programs, which we're very grateful for, and also the more local city, county, government funds for the arts and education. So that's my job. A lot of advocacy, a lot of personal relationships, and really sharing my love of my art and the art that I'm working for. I, like you, just really believe it's crucial to life, not for all of the side benefits that it offers students and just citizens in general, but for its own aesthetic value. I just think that's at my core, and that's why I do what I do.
What do you find people respond to most with wanting to get involved? What inspires them to get involved?
I really have found that the thing that ignites people to be involved and stay involved is the personal relationships. They like knowing that there are other people like them who just love it and support the way they support. You know, if there's a certain component of those constituents that really love education, then that's what I focus on with them. And having the kind of background that I have, it's very easy to sell my product because I've kind of walked the walk. I've lived the life of education and arts, and making sure that that is an important part of wherever I'm living. We have an interesting situation here at Utah Symphony, Utah Opera, that we have a symphony and we have an opera.
Yeah.
So we have very...
it's a lot.
A lot of different constituents. We also have the Deer Valley Music Festival, which is our outdoor venue, you know, kind of for second homeowners and visitors, and definitely a large constituent of locals as well. But knowing how to talk to each one of those donors about what they love, whether it's the symphony or the opera or kind of the more relaxed outdoor venue of Deer Valley. So it's important to me to have those personal relationships so that I know who enjoys what, and so that I can, you know, share what we do on an even playing field with those folks.
What are all the different outreach programs that the Utah Symphony does?
We have several outreach programs. On the symphony side, some of our really exciting ones are the 5th grade concerts that we do here at Abravanel Hall.
Aww.
They're for all 5th graders within busing distance.
It's such a good age for that.
It's
kind
a
of
really
thing.
good age, and our team does a great job preparing the teachers and the students before they come to the hall so that they know what they're going to hear and how to just act at a symphony concert. So we're really kind of training them. Annually, we get about 20 to 22,000 students in the hall with those concerts. We do a series of 10, and it's pretty spectacular. And then we have an outreach component where we take the orchestra. Sometimes it's a full orchestra, sometimes it's a chamber orchestra, all over the state, and we, between the symphony and the opera programs, pride ourselves on reaching every school district in the state on a 3 to 5 year rotational basis. So we are traveling, 4.5 hours south to St. George sometimes. Sometimes we're going a couple hours north up to Logan and Cache Valley and Box Elder County with our symphony programs as well as our opera programs. The opera programs are special in their own right. We have a core of Utah opera resident artists. They're a team of 5, a pianist and 4 vocalists.
I think I saw their biographies in the program book.
Yeah, they are.
Are they in the Messiah concert?
They are. They're all our soloists for the Messiah. They're auditioned nationally every year. We get a new group, and they... it's a bridge. It's a more or less like a fellowship program. So when they're done with their formal degree college training, we provide that intermediary step for them before they go into full-blown professional careers. And they do about 220 educational performances for us every 9 months.
That's like 1 a day.
Sometimes 2.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So
wow.
That's it's an amazing education program, and the kind of the scope and the reach that we have throughout this state is one of the reasons why we get the kind of state and government support that we do.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's just so impressive.
Yeah. It's fun to talk about.
It's a lot to coordinate.
Yeah, it is, and we've got a great team here that does all that.
Well, do you play anymore?
I play Occasionally. I do some freelancing. I've got a beautiful 1935 Gata that I play every day regardless of if I'm making money doing it. So, so to keep it working and myself, just keep the fingers moving. So.
Well, what do you do when you're doing your maintenance practice?
I have to do another shout out to my friend Annie Barley, who recently posted on her Facebook that she was redoing the Popper 40 etudes in 40 weeks. So I decided, well, I'm going to redo the Kreutzer 42 in 42 weeks. So Great. I've been on my own little personal project doing that, and kind of keeping my Mozarts and a Mendelssohn, or when I'm feeling really, really good about myself, maybe I'll throw in a Paganini etude.
Oh, nice.
Those take a little longer than a week to do.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think all of those actually are never ending.
Yeah.
You can work forever on them.
Yeah. So those are my little projects that I do to just kind of keep myself in shape.
Well, you've been working in so many different parts of classical music. I haven't met many people who have that much experience in all these different facets. And I'm just curious to wrap it up. Like, what do you like most about classical music, seeing it from all these different perspectives? Like, is there something that binds it together for you?
I really do think it's the education. And that's part of just my being. I've always thought of myself as a teacher. And even in my job in foundation and government work, I view a lot of the way I talk with people as an education. Giving them even more information and knowledge about what we do, and about what's going on stage, because I do have that perspective, and all of the time and the energy and the hard work that it takes our musicians to do what they do, and really showcase them, and make sure that they know they're supported. So I really do think it's the education piece. And
from the inside of playing, so you can describe that as well to people.
Right, it takes a huge commitment. And when I was a teacher in school, conveying that to my students in orchestra, how important it was for them to study, not just to be great artists themselves, but to be advocates and to be lovers and listeners. We all need listeners as well. So as long as they can keep that a part of their life, then my job has been done.
Well, thank you for your commitment.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to do any side of this.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for having me talk
with
you
Hilary
today.
Hahn.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.